which I won't be doing. Right, so I am going to be speaking today about social recruitment. Before I do that though, I am going to try and run an exercise, which if you know me, you will know that it's almost impossible. I'm going to, and you're welcome to on your phones as well, set my timer to 15 minutes, and after 15 minutes a duck will start quacking, because I want to respect all of you and the time limit that I've been given. Also, I feel like a little bit of a challenge, so let's go. 14:58, and I don't even know how to turn to the next slide. Right, cool, so I'm going to talk to you today about Clayton. This is Clayton. He is ginger. Gingers are awesome. And a few things you need to know about him besides the fact that he's ginger. The first one of them is he likes gaming. He plays online games, multiplayer games. He also loves Android. He's not a big Apple fan, not a big BlackBerry fan, but his Android is his life. A lot of that comes from the fact, and it's the most important thing you need to learn about Clayton today, is because he can code. So that is why Clayton is an awesome guy, not just because he's ginger, because he has a skill that in this country right now is a very sought after skill, certainly among people who are moving towards the future, as all of you in this room are. But what happened at work recently was Clayton really loved his job. But there was a bit of a messy breakup. He started going out with one of the copywriters. Things got a little messy. She slept with the creative director. Now, he's not really loving his job that much anymore. He still likes the place he works, but he just doesn't think he can see that bitch's face every day anymore. So Clayton is in that state that anybody who is going to be learning about recruitment, and certainly you guys will in a few years' time if you haven't already, because you'll be looking for jobs, there are 3 states that people are really in when they're looking for jobs. They're either really, really happy, they're not looking to move, and they're really not open to suggestion. Or they're not really that happy, they want to move right now and they're openly looking. And then the third one is the one where usually the recruiters have the most success in placing those candidates, are the ones that are kind of happy but open to options. And that's where Clayton is right now. He's happy where he works, but he just doesn't think he can do it every day anymore. So he's going to go look for a new career, and there are 3 ways he can do that. He can go to the chosen company's website that he wants to go and work with, and go and troll through their career pages, figure out if what he is looking for is on there. Or he can go to a job portal, something like jobs.coza, Career Junction, and he can go and look at the jobs that are sitting on there. Or there's the third option, which is he can go to a recruiter. Now, the thing with recruiters is, according to the 2012 HR recruitment survey, sort of 46% of companies are now deciding to say that they're actually not really turning to recruiters anymore because the fees are really expensive. The recruiters don't always find people that's good for their job. I mean, anybody who's in digital will tell you that they've had headhunters phone them and say, listen, I have a fantastic IT job for you. And you're like, I'm not in IT. No, you are. You're in digital. No, I'm not. Okay, I'm in social media. It's not IT. And that's what's happening in this country at the moment, is some of the recruiters, some are really, really good, but some are just missing the mark a little bit, which is why the companies have stopped turning to them. So there's this 4th option. It's called social recruitment. And companies are doing it almost every day. They're not really formally doing it, but they've been doing it since before there was social media. It's about telling your staff to speak to their friends, or telling your staff publicly to tweet, or you tweet publicly, that you have jobs available and that you're looking for good people. And social recruitment is becoming more and more important and more relevant. There are lots of reasons for that, and I'll go into them. The big thing to remember about social recruitment is it's about trusted networks. It means that when you go out and look for people out there to come and work for your company, you've got to build a trusted network first. You have to make sure as an organization that people want to actually come and work for you, and that the network of people that you're looking through, the people that you're asking to ask their friends, trust you and you can trust them. So let's go back to Clayton, just in case anyone's forgotten about him. He's in quite a bit of a position of power right now because he knows that the companies out there, they want him, but he also knows that he needs to build his personal brand because he they've come halfway to him and they're doing the trusted network thing, but how are I actually going to find him? He's a ginger, he probably has no friends except me, and he needs to build his personal brand a little bit so that the companies know about him when they're going out and using their networks. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to build that personal brand. I'm sure a lot of you already know it. I've seen a hell of a lot of tweeting with very few stupid SMS speech characters in it, so that's good. You're one step there already. But Personal branding is about relationships. It really is. It's not about having 3,000 freaking followers on Twitter or being able to use big words when you stand up and talk to people. It's about the one-on-one. If that one-on-one is 1 to 100, then that's fine, but at least you need to realize that relationships are real things. So when you build a relationship, when you go out and you network and you build a personal brand, when you go to these industry events, conferences, work the room. And I mean, it's a horrible saying because it sounds really false, but it just means talk to people and be nice. Personal branding is also about adding value. If you say one thing, when you're in an industry event or a meeting or a conference, you say one thing, and that one thing is the thing that people remember, you've added value. You don't really need to say anything else. And then the last thing about personal branding that Clayton needs to remember is that he can fake it until he makes it. Because sometimes we don't know how to do this personal branding thing, we don't know, especially in the beginning of our careers. So read up a few things, pick up a few tips, and then fake it, and it won't be long until you're not faking it anymore. Until you really are that person that you're trying to put out into the room, out there. And then, of course, please God, if the personal branding works, please don't turn into a cock. I've seen so many really awesome people build freaking amazing personal brands and then turn into giant cocks, and then nobody likes them anymore, except maybe other cocks. So now Clayton's done all of this. He's built a personal brand, there are trusted networks out there, the recruiters are looking for him, he's looking for the recruiters, he's got hot shades. So what is the next step? Well, the next step is for him to tap into his friends, because guys, companies want your friends. You are powerful, powerful people right now in the world of recruitment. Those big companies, all the way up from the banks down to the digital agencies, they want your friends. They're specifically looking for your friends. And why? Well, because friends are loyal. Because when you refer a friend to a job, you're putting yourself out there. You have a social contract with that person, and you're going, okay, cool, company X, this is my friend. So you're saying, first of all, you're putting your cock on the block a little bit. You're like, my friend is good at their job. And if they really screw up in a few weeks or years' time, it's my cock on the block here. But also, because you referred them, they'll be a little bit more loyal to the company. And there are a whole lot of stats up in the corner in the white that nobody can see to support that. So you're welcome to talk to me about them, because I'm not really a big stats person. So the cool thing about that is you go beat up that and I'll get to safety. About the jobs is the reason why social recruitment is important because it matches you with the right job. You're not going to phone up your friend who's in digital and offer them an IT job. You're going to offer them a job which you know matches with their skills, and you should be doing the same, and your friend should be doing the same with you. Because the way that people are approaching work situations is changing a hell of a lot. People used to work for money, and money used to be the most important part of what we do. As well as promotions and perks and car allowances and those sort of things. Companies have stopped giving that sort of stuff, but also not just because they're cheap and there's a recession, but also because people have changed the reason they want to work for companies. More than ever today, people cite things like culture, career development, physical and emotional environment that I work in as the top reasons for moving to or staying in a position. So I don't think you've probably maybe forgotten about Clayton. We haven't. Clayton is now more powerful than ever. He has friends, he has a good personal brand, and the companies out there are looking for him. And they're looking for him by showing him that they have a freaking cool culture. Who doesn't want a slide in their office? I want a slide in my office. I don't have a lot of money right now where I work, so we don't even have chairs. But we will get a slide because it's cool, but also because it shows something really deep about the company. It shows that they're willing to spend money on things that make people happy, that are culture. And that means that they hire the right people. Yes, there is a donkey's dick on my slide, but I do not want you to get distracted by that. I found the slide, I thought the midget was really cool, and then only after I put it in did I realize there was a donkey's dick on it. Anyway, the really key message here is about hiring the right people, so it's a really small one. Anyway, carrying on. Because a good company knows that when you work hard, you want to play hard, and when you play hard, you'll come back the next day and work even harder. A good company knows that a promotion, it's cool, a salary increase, great. But to be stuck in a cubicle for 8 freaking hours a day, I would actually take a salary cut to know that a company let me wear masks, had slides, and allowed me to put up pictures of donkey sticks at conferences. Those sort of companies, they have long-term views. Those are the companies that use social recruitment. They understand that maybe hiring someone who's not that experienced now, that's the person who's going to head up departments in the future. That's you guys sitting in this room giving up your Saturdays to learn. These companies, they're looking for you. So a little bit about what I'm actually here to talk about, which is crowdsourcing. This is where it gets boring, so anybody can feel free to leave now, but I'm just going to explain a little bit about what crowdsourcing is. The actual term is the act of taking a task traditionally performed by an employee or contractor and outsourcing it to an undefined, generally large group of people in the form of an open call. What that really means is, does anybody have a panado? Because Matt Visser has a really big hangover, and he needed a panado earlier, and what I've just done here is crowdsourcing. Seriously, does anybody have a panado? No one. Nurofen. Matt Clive has a Nurofen. See, what I've just done there, that's crowdsourcing. I made an open call to everybody, and I asked something that is traditionally performed by either a one-on-one instruction or an employer or a contractor. So imagine if we took this crowdsourcing thing and this recruitment thing and we put them together. So that's what I'm talking about now is crowdsourced recruitment. So imagine going out there and there's a place. Imagine a place where you could go, okay, cool, there's this job. And I know that my friend, Matt, he's not. I know my friend Clayton is looking for a job because his girlfriend's a bitch. And I know that there are probably 4 or 5 companies out there who have exactly the right type of job for Clayton. But because I'm not going to really get anything out of it, I might not go and look for those companies. So it would be really nice if there was a place that not only put some of the companies out there that have the right job for Clayton, but also if they pay me to refer him. That would be even better because everyone loves cash. So crowdsourcing is important because it gives you a bigger network. You get this big-ass network which you've never really had time or the opportunity to tap into before, and you're able to take a piece of information and spread it out there or ask people to do things for you in one call. It's much cheaper. But also it's more focused. Because what happens now is I refer Clayton to a job. He goes and gets the job. I get some cash out of the deal, which is really cool. But because I'm Clayton's friend, so I know him, and I knew the company as well, because I read up about them because I wanted the cash, it means that I made a really good focused connection there, which means Clayton's probably going to stay at that company a little bit longer, which is awesome. And we just hope he doesn't sleep with his colleagues again, otherwise I would have totally stuffed up. But also that it's a better fit. I know their culture, I know his culture, and then we're all really happy in the end. So the end of the presentation is really to talk to you about the fact that if you want to go out and you go looking for jobs, and what if you're a company or your parents, your friends work at big companies that are looking for good people, you've got a couple of options. You guys can go and find yourselves employment agents, or you can go to the big job portal sites and look for jobs, or you can start using your personal brand and your network to start finding amazing opportunities. My story is very much about this as well. I mean, I was working at a big bank, the most boring place on the planet, and I built up a bit of a personal brand. I had a little bit of a network, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it yet, but I knew it was going to get somewhere eventually. And then I found this agency that I used to work for that it sounded really amazing. And the guy who ran the agency not only is ginger, but he is a visionary. And he was really inspiring and wonderful and amazing. And I started following him on Twitter, and I started going to his talks. His name's Rob Stokes, by the way. And I wanted to work for him. So I applied at his company. I went on their site, and I sent an email to want to work at Crook, and I said, I really want to work at your company. 5 minutes later, my phone rang, and it was a number I didn't know. I picked up my phone, it wasn't even 5 minutes, it was a few minutes later, and the guy on the other end said, Heidi Schneigansz, this is Rob Stokes. And I fell off my fucking chair. I fell off my chair. I was like, excuse me, I thought someone was pranking me. This is the visionary that I watched at conferences, the crazy man who jumped up and down the stage, somehow could predict the future. Why the hell was he phoning me? How did he get my number? I still don't know how he got my number. But the fact of the matter is somehow the fact that I was social and he was social, it paired us together. In the last 3 years when I worked at that agency, were the best 3 years of my life. I built a personal brand, he built a good company, we found each other. End of story. It was freaking awesome. And I know every single one of you in this room will find the same thing. And the reason that I don't work for Quirk anymore is because I still work with Rob, and I work in a startup accelerator with him. And I think I'm going to work with him for the rest of my life. Not only because he's genuine. So, oh shit, we forgot about Clayton. So what happened with Clayton? Woo, there's the duck! What Clayton did is he found a site called Hiring Bounty. And on the site called Hiring Bounty, he was able to get referred to a job. I referred him to a job. I got 5,000 Rand. He got 5,000 Rand because he got the job. Hiring Bounty got 5,000 Rand for putting the shit up on the site. Clayton found a good job. And he's really, really happy now. He's a senior developer at Google. I made all of this up. But wouldn't it be cool if it was real?